Good morning, all you cool empaths and sensitives. This is psychic medium Danielle Garcia, and I want to tell you a little bit about the energies coming in this week. So this is the energy forecast for 5/18 through 5/23, May 18th through the 23rd. And I don't know about you, but last week was a doozy for me. I ended up being in the hospital for 3 days, and that sucked immensely. But I do want to say thank you for all the prayers and good vibes that y'all sent me. They were very, very much appreciated. Absolutely, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you. Feeling better and very grateful for that as well. So let's get on with the energy forecast. This week has a theme between all of the different planetary galactic energies coming forward. The alignments, the moon, the sun cycles, and so on and so forth. This week's theme is Rise Above. I think we've all been going through a lot of different emotional upheaval, triggering, etc., between what's going on cosmically, what's going on as a culture, a society, as well as what's going on, just with the whole pandemic and everything. I hate to keep referring to quarantine, but yet here we are within it still, and it's still affecting us. And let me tell you, being in a hospital for 3 days during a pandemic, wow. Don't really want to live through that one again. But again, sincerely grateful that I'm out and feeling better. So what can we do with this theme of rise above? I think that we've all been extra sensitive. I think there's been a lot of overthinking going on. And this week's energy is about letting go of revisiting the past. Now, let me talk a little bit about that. It's not that we should never go back and look at the past and see what lessons and blessings and mistakes and so on and so forth have been had within the past. But this is about rising above the past. This is about seeing those gifts within it, cutting the cords with that energy, moving through it, rising above it. It's not about replaying those same events and experiences over and over and over and over and over again in your mind. Is that something that you do? Or is it just me? I find myself, and whether it's a Scorpio trait or whether it's just a Danielle trait, some nights when I'm not sleeping and I'm just playing conversations over and over in my head. Ooh, I should have said this. I should have done that. I should have went here. I should have went there. Well, I can coulda, woulda, shoulda myself to death, and it's still not going to change the past, right? So we can move to this point of rising above and rising above into that point of acceptance and surrender. Acceptance is really big. It's a place of being in that vibe of, okay, deep breath. This has happened. I can't change that this has happened. I can accept this experience for what it is, and I can move forward with my life. I don't have to be stuck here in this place in my past of what that experience is. I can accept it and figure out how I want to move forward with the understanding, knowing, knowledge, gifts, lessons that I have had through having this experience of my past. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to draw some cards also. And today I am drawing from the Psychic Tarot by John Holland, one of my all-time favorite decks. Also, just to mention, May 23rd, we have a new moon coming in, and that's also a pre-eclipse period. So, new moon, new thought, manifesting, bringing forward. Whenever there's a new moon, I always like to do some type of release, because I find when new high vibe energy is coming in, it's good to let go of that old crap. You know what I mean? Definitely not a good time to hold on to things. And I think that's why this week's theme is about rising above, rise above the situation. What can you see from a higher perspective? What higher understanding can you have in regards to what's been going on in your life and what's been going on in the world around you? So let's draw a few cards and see what the cards have to say. All right, so the first card, how interesting. With the theme of Rise Above. The first card that I pull is Suffering in Silence, and I hope you can see that beauty. You see the woman there. She's looking out into this vast valley. She's suffering. She's walked up a staircase, and she's here at this peak, and she's looking, ooh, what the heck do I do now? Where am I going? Where is this path leading? I'm unsure. But she's not really telling everybody about that. She's holding it all inside. How could she rise above that? There's so many different ways that we can find release and also that we can find support. Please always remember your angels and guides are just a thought away, as are your loved ones, and they can help and assist you, even if it's just only to hear your thoughts be verbalized, to hear your emotions be verbalized. And it's so important to remember to ask for assistance when you want it, because they're not just going to jump on in and take over control of your life. You need to ask for that. The same way that your friend isn't just going to show up on your doorstep and say, here, let me help you, unless you ask for their assistance. It's so important to allow yourself that strength in the vulnerability of asking. When you ask for support from someone, you're actually gifting them as well. You're gifting them with the opportunity to help and support you. Because most empaths and sensitives, and most, I think, let's just say 80% of most people like to help other people, right? So when we're helping other people, they want to pay that forward. They want to give that back. And I'll guarantee you card just flew out of my deck. There's been people in your life that you have helped, and they're very grateful, and they would love to just return the favor, right? So the next card I pull is called the Waiting Game. All right, let's take a look at that one. So here we have the sand timer. There's roots at the bottom. There's new development, new seedling, new flourishing towards the top. And we have a man walking around and around and around and around in circles, right? So this is about having patience, rising above. How can you have patience with that? Well, if you've gone through some pretty heavy vibes and you want to come to this place of acceptance, you have to have patience with that too, right? You're not just going to be able to say, oh, okay, well, what I learned from this heavy experience, I'm just going to get over in the next 5 minutes, and I'm going to rise above it, and I'm going to accept it, and I'm going to move on with my life. Some things you can do that with, sure, but other things you have to work through it a little bit, right? So it's that waiting game. It's chipping away at it. If you think of how an artist, a sculptor, a sculptor doesn't just come to his project overnight, right? He's chipping away. He's chipping away at the marble. He's taking a look. He's looking at this masterpiece in so many different angles, and some things he improves upon, some things he takes away, some things he adds to, right? So it's a waiting game. Remember, your life is a masterpiece, and you're the creator of that. So enjoy it. Have patience with it. Look for the timing of things, right? All right, so one more card to see what comes through. Ooh, okay, maybe 2 more cards. So who came through first? You did. Solitude. All right, take a look at solitude. So this is a woman, and she has a book open in her lap, and she's kneeling, and she's looking down at this book, and there's this beautiful pillar behind her. So when I'm checking out this card and I'm looking at it, I'm looking at that as soul mission, soul purpose, soul contract. This is a moment of review. This is looking back as to why we're here. What are we doing? Are we doing the right thing? This is taking those moments of solitude, of going within and doing a bit of a review. If we're moving through all of this stuff, if the new moon is coming in this week, take some time to go within, to be in those moments of solitude, to look, see, feel, react, know, trust that you are in this space for good reason. Now, are you here to suffer? Are you here to be in silence? Are you here to be in the in-between constantly? No. But also remember, you have a responsibility to yourself to work through your own stuff. The world isn't doing this to you. The world, the universe creates an environment where we have this wonderful gift of having choices as to how we react. So take this moment of solitude to go within, to see where you're at, to see how it feels to be where you're at right now. And you know what? If that doesn't feel so great, change it. You have that choice and you have that power. Last card I draw. Oh, why am I tearing up about this? Maybe it's the overly emotional energies coming in. The last card that I draw is Memories of Love. Okay, how beautiful is that card? Open hands holding a candle in the water with other floating candles nearby. Now, memories of love. This is truth. This is what truth is. Truth is love. Love is truth. All of the rest of the suffering and the low vibes and the grief and the disarray with health issues and so on and so forth, all of that is truly surpassed by love, isn't it? Isn't love the highest vibration of all? And if we remember that love that's inside of us and amongst us and that surrounds us, we can definitely get through anything that comes into our lives. I also look at this card and I see the hands that are open. To me, that's the sign of receiving. So ask yourself this week, are you receiving love? Are you allowing yourself to receive love on every level possible? I also look at the water in this card. Water is about purity. It is about transformation. It is about release. It is about going with the flow. So how can you go with the flow this week? How can you go with the flow today, this moment, right now? What are you doing to receive the highest vibration of you? And what are you doing to generate and put out and give that highest vibe, that highest energy of yourself to the world? Something to think about. The Schumann resonance has also been spiking on and off all last week. I checked this morning, it was at a 69. It's normally at a 7.83. So that can throw some of us off. I'm definitely feeling those different shifts and changes. We had a 6.4 earthquake here in Nevada, which I felt in my hospital room. Not so fun. Thankfully, I was far enough away from it, though. It was just a little bit of a shaker. So the earth is changing. We are all changing, right? And as we go through these shifts and as we go through these changes, it's important to be an active participant in that. You can actively change. Think of it like riding a wave, right? Think of a surfer being out in the water. Well, the surfer has choices, right? Gets to choose which wave to ride, right? Or can just stay out there in that deep water and just keep having the waves just crash over them and over them and over them and over them. Or could get up, can make some changes, can make some choices, and ride the fluidity of that wave. Something to think about. All right, well, have a wonderful day. Have a blessed week. And enjoy your time rising above whatever you choose to.